Hi guys, Wheelie here. So it's meant to be spring, but it's raining, and I'm staying inside with my nice hot cuppa and wishing the warm weather would start already. Despite the rain, everything has started to bloom. All the little daisies are flowering madly, and I want to bring a bit of spring into my cold house. So today I'm going to show you how to crochet a big, cheerful daisy flower using a few basic stitches. Honestly, the hardest thing about it is picking your colours. I've got these lovely soft modern tones, but you could go for bright primary colours for cheerful flowers, or the palest of pastels with white centres to make them candy sweet for a baby. These flowers are simple and bold, like a child's drawing, and I just love how easy they are to whip up. If you have 2 colours of yarn and a matching hook, let's make a little bit of spring. Make a slip knot with the yarn you're using for the centre of your flower, pop the slip knot on your hook, and chain 4. We're going to turn this chain into a circle. Insert your hook into the first chain, the one with a knot at the end of it. You only need to catch 1 loop. Yarn over and pull through. And now chain 1 to get up to height for round 1, which will work into the centre of this teeny circle, wrapping this tail up under our stitches as we go. Insert your hook into the circle, yarn over and pull up a loop. 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both loops. That's 1 single crochet. You need to crochet 11 more of them into this circle for round 1. You might need to pull your stitches to the side a bit to fit them all in, but when you have all 12 stitches squished into this little circle, you've finished round 1. And you slip stitch to the top of your first single crochet to finish the round. Just insert your hook under the top of that stitch, catching 2 loops of the V, yarn over and pull through, and that is round 1 finished. Begin the second round by chaining 1 to get up to height, and then work a single crochet into the first stitch space right where that chain 1 is. And then in the next stitch, work 2 single crochets. And that is the pattern we'll follow for round 2. 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets. 1 and then 2. And you'll know you're on track with the pattern if you end the round with 2 stitches in the final space. You'll have 18 stitches at the end of round 2. And if you're not totally familiar with working in the round, be careful that you don't add in an extra stitch by working into this spot. This isn't really a stitch. We created a sort of split in 2 stitch when we slip stitched to end round 1. And because we worked into one side of it already, we don't want to work into the other side or we'll end up with 19 stitches. So when you have 18 stitches, finish round 2 by slip stitching to the first single crochet in the round. Chain 1 to get up to height and start round 3. Put 1 single crochet into the first stitch space and then 1 into the second stitch space, and then 2 single crochets into the third stitch. And that is our pattern for this round. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. There will be 24 stitches at the end of round 3. And as with round 2, you'll know you're on track when you put 2 stitches into the final space. But do still be aware of that additional not a stitch space that was created by the slip stitch in the row below. You don't want to end up with 25 stitches. Slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet to finish the round, and also the center of our daisy flower. So hooray, what a nice little circle. Bring in the scissors to cut your yarn, and although I did slip stitch, I'm going to undo that and quickly work an invisible join. But you do work the invisible join with a needle, and I know a lot of crocheters really don't like sewing, so if that's you, just ignore me. The slip stitch join is absolutely fine, and nobody worth knowing is going to look at your crochet and say picky things about your finishing techniques. If you don't know how to do the invisible join and you'd like to learn it, and you'd like a slower and closer look at it, you can follow the link I've included in the description box. But I'll also put a video link up on the screen at the end of this video so you don't have to stop watching halfway through the flower to go and watch a video about finishing. Don't get me wrong, I'm rather obsessed with the invisible join, but it's nowhere near as exciting as a flower. And I've weaved in my tails too, so the center is nice and secure. And do make sure you over sew both of your tails at least 3 times, which just means take them back and forth 3 times so that your flower doesn't unravel. And there, the center of that flower is all finished. It's time for the fun bit now. Grab your colored yarn so we can start the petal. I'm putting a slip knot on my hook because I like to join my yarn on with a standing stitch, a standing single crochet in this case, and I'll pop a video link at the end in case you want to learn some standing stitches. They're one of my favorite things at the moment, and I know I need more interesting favorite things. I do really like the flower as well, if that counts. Start the round by joining your yarn to any stitch from the round below. For a standing single crochet, you need to insert your hook into the stitch and the knot sits on the hook slightly to the right. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through both loops, and that starts the round with a stitch that looks like a single crochet. You can attach your yarn in the way you prefer, then chain 1 to get up to height and work your first single crochet, and then single crochet in the next stitch along 2, chain 5, count back 4 chains from the hook, not counting the loop on your hook, single crochet into that 4th chain from the hook, just catch 1 loop of the chain, and single crochet into the next chain, and single crochet into the same stitch you worked your single crochet with a chain of 5 coming out of it. And this is where the pattern repeat begins. Single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And now chain 5. Single crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. Single crochet into the next chain, and single crochet into the same space you worked the single crochet with a chain of 5. And we're back to the beginning of the pattern repeat, which starts with 3 single crochets and then a chain of 5. So pause the video and keep repeating that until you have 8 stubby little anemone looking petals, and unpause when you're ready to finish this round. Then we can beautify the daisy with lovely chubby petals in the final round. When you've finished your 8th petal, you'll have 1 empty stitch in the round below. So work a single crochet into that, and then slip stitch to the first single crochet to finish off this round. You should have 8 funny little petals spaced evenly around the circle. For this round, we're going to work first up and then down each of these. The first stitch is a half double crochet and it goes in here. This is the first chain of the chain 5 from the round below. So yarn over and insert your hook, catching 2 loops of that chain like this. Yarn over and pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. The next stitch is a double crochet into the same space. So yarn over and insert your hook and pull up a loop. 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2. Locate the next chain from the round below, which is this space here, and we're going to work 2 double crochets into that. The next stitches go into the space created by the chain 5. There'll be a little gap where the chain has folded over. And you're going to work 4 double crochets into that space, and that will make the top of the petal. That is the first side and the top of the petal done. Now we're going to work into the top of these 2 single crochets here for the other side of the petal. It's the same stitch combination in reverse, so 2 double crochets in this one, and a double crochet and a half double crochet into the next one. I find that the petal next to you tends to get in the way, so I fold it down so it is easy to work my double crochet and half double crochet without catching the next petal. That is the first petal done. To move between petals, we slip stitch. So have a close look. We skip this one and slip stitch to this one. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, and pull it through. And we're going to slip stitch a second time into the next stitch along. Insert your hook, pull up a loop and pull it through. And that brings us to where we started the first petal. From here, we go straight from this slip stitch to working into the chain with a half double crochet. So I'll get you to pause the video here while you work all 8 petals in the same way, working up the side, into the top and then down the other side, and slip stitching twice between each petal. And unpause when you're ready to finish the flower off. This is my last half double crochet, and when you've finished your 8 petals, you just slip stitch once and you're done. So snip off this yarn and weave in your tails. What's your plan for these flowers? I've got a couple of ideas for mine. You've seen the pretty little basket I filled, and that is going to sit on my windowsill where I can see it from my chair. This one here is my new needle holder. I'm always losing my needles, even in bed, so this is basically an essential safety tool. And if you use cotton or wool yarn, these would make excellent coasters too. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give me a like. Head on over to the playlist for standing stitches and the invisible join now, or check out my very flowery infinity scarf pattern for a bit more springtime in chilly weather. I'll see you next time. Bye.